Meltdown, part 3 of our investigation of the orgy of greed and recklessness that drove the world into financial collapse. Only now are the hard questions being asked. Only now are the key players being held to account. In this hour, some of the crash victims fight back. In Iceland, a protesting singer brings down a government. In France, a union leader oversees the kidnapping of his bosses. In California, thousands of families become homeless.
He'll tell us, why can't you just give us a home like other normal kids?
Meltdown, the secret history of the global financial collapse. The years since the 2008 collapse have been marked by demonstrations around the world. Owing to the loss of an estimated 30 million jobs. In many places, there were violent street protests, but they were easily weathered by governments and large corporations. In some countries, however, the struggle went much further and left a lasting mark. The epicenter of this battle was in France, where workers have always been quick to the barricades. Because of the meltdown, in March 2009, the Continental Tire Company announced that it would be forced to close its factory in the town of Clairvaux, cutting 1,120 jobs. The plant was still showing a profit, but according to the factory boss, Louis Forzy, the workers here were just not as motivated and productive as they should be.
Selon moi, et c'est les chiffres qu'ils montrent, nos résultats sont inférieurs à ceux des autres usines.
Continental workers labeled Forzy a thief and a liar. They convened a meeting at the plant to organize a protest.
J'ai supprimé ma vie de famille pour Continental. C'est honteux.
Forzy showed up to address them. He made a show of his patience and forbearance, until an egg in the head changed his mind. He immediately decided that perhaps he had underestimated the situation and made a tactical withdrawal from the field of battle.
Why did that happen? Why?
Because people were shocked, they were angry.
Je pense aussi qu'il était au courant depuis longtemps qu'il allait y avoir une fermeture du site.
The Continental employees moved on to occupy the town offices.
Mais le bureau du sous-préfet, c'est où? Ouais, vous êtes avec nous, vous êtes avec les Conti, madame, là, quand même.
Les gars, on n'est pas venu ici pour rigoler. On n'est plus des moutons, on est des lions.
When union leader Xavier Mathieu received news that a judge refused to grant them an injunction to stop the plant closing, he and the workers began trashing the place.
On n'ira pas à l'abattoir sans se défendre. C'est clair et net. Le désespoir des gens qui sont foutus dehors. C'est pas de la cruauté, ça? C'est pas de la violence? Si, c'est de la violence. Il n'y a pas que la violence physique dans la vie. Il y a la violence morale aussi. Moi, je suis fier de ce que les mecs ils ont fait aujourd'hui. Et n'attendez pas.
The worker uprising began to spread across the country and became increasingly threatening. The Caterpillar Heavy Equipment Company in Grenoble announced that, in spite of record profits, they would be cutting 20,000 jobs worldwide, over 700 here in France. The global meltdown would reduce demand for their bulldozers, and so production would have to slow down. On March 2nd, workers surrounded the plant. They were following the instructions of union leader Pierre Picaretta, who, like his father before him, has worked his whole life at Caterpillar.
On est des humains et on n'accepte pas, là, tête baissée, cette économie qui nous fait souffrir. Donc on ne pouvait pas accepter comme ça le fait d'annoncer des bénéfices records et de licencier les personnes.
Oh, venez les gars, vous faites quoi là?
3 weeks of negotiations led nowhere.
Tous ensemble, ouais! Ouais! Tous ensemble, ouais!
On veut une solution!
Furious workers surrounded the management offices and decided to hold the management team captive. The first union leader on the scene was Nicolas Benoit.
Ce coup-là, les patrons ne sont pas partis, donc on les a obligés à venir à la table des négociations pour discuter. Ils ont refusé, donc les salariés ont dit tant que vous ne reprenez pas des négociations qui soient des négociations sérieuses, vous restez là.
Et là, vous êtes séquestrés ou pas?
Pour l'instant, non.
Nicolas Polutnik led the management team that was taken prisoner. At first, he refused any further discussions with the union.
Faut pas nous prendre pour des putes. Alors messieurs, vous voulez reprendre les négociations?
With the Caterpillar bosses held captive, the situation became increasingly dangerous. The police did not immediately intervene. The union leaders were trying to keep control of the situation.
Oh les gars, on dort ici, hein.
The media were then told that the bosses would be staying the night. Overnight, as the captive bosses were trying to get some sleep in their offices, angry workers did not leave them in peace. The Caterpillar kidnapping incident made news around the world. It was widely described as boss napping.
In the French Alps, at the U.S. tractor company Caterpillar, where managers were locked in and stripped of their speakerphone. Boss napped all night.
President Nicolas Sarkozy realized this extreme reaction to the global meltdown was turning into a public relations disaster for France. He went on national television to denounce the kidnappers.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ces histoires d'aller séquestrer les gens? On est dans un état de droit. Je ne laisserai pas faire les choses comme ça. Dans un état de droit, la loi, elle doit être respectée.
Privately, however, French Finance Minister Christine Lagarde was critical of Caterpillar management. She thought that the situation was exacerbated by the ham-fisted tactics of the American company, a common problem with foreign-owned firms.
On a souvent constaté dans des entreprises sous capitaux étrangers que le dialogue n'était pas aussi riche et aussi développé parce que le centre de décision est ailleurs.
After an anxious night, Caterpillar management agreed to resume negotiations. In exchange, the union allowed the bosses to leave the plant, although there were some tense moments on the way out. Pierre Picaretta tried to claim victory.
Je pense que le message est passé et je crois que rapidement, dans les jours qui vont suivre, ça va lâcher fortement.
The Caterpillar bosses who were kidnapped decided to keep silent about their ordeal. But many bosses in France realized they could soon end up in a similar predicament.
On pourrait qu'avoir la réunion à 7h30. Est-ce que ça vous irait?
One of them was Marcus Carriou, the human resources manager for a U.S. car parts company called Molex. He was sent into the town of Villemur, near Toulouse, to close a Molex factory that had operated here for many years. The workers were furious, and very quickly their anger focused on Carriou. Along with nasty graffiti, Cariou says he became the target of email threats.
You know, when you read about some extremists, you know, saying that people like me should be exterminated, you know, so it's, I mean, I think it's shocking to see that.
The town of Villemur would be hard hit by the closure of the Molex plant, which represents 20% of its tax revenues. The local parish priest, Philippe Bachet, led the community support effort for the Molex workers.
Et tous ceux qui se sont mobilisés doivent continuer à l'être pour que notre ville ne devienne pas un désert industriel.
On the morning of April 20th, 2009 in Villemur, Marcus Cariou was consulting a security company about how to act in case he should be kidnapped. Ironically, that afternoon, union leader Denis Paris showed up and placed him in captivity.
Et on veut 100 millions d'euros aussi pour préjudice. Et on lui a dit, écoutez, maintenant vous allez nous donner des explications et on va vous garder avec nous pour que vous nous donniez toutes les informations pourquoi vous avez fait ça.
Within 1 hour, there were media all over the plant. I felt like an animal in a cage. The people there, they offered some food. They offered us some mattresses as well so that we could comfortably sleep in this office. The mattress was absolutely dirty, you know, so I was in touch with our security advisor. He said, well, you know, in 1 out of 2 cases they spit in the sandwiches, so I didn't want to touch that.
After 26 hours, Marcus Cariou and his colleague Colin Colbach were released from captivity.
Oui, je suis fatigué, soulagé de partir.
Even as they left, they felt threatened.
You could see from people shouting and screaming that there was extremely heavy aggression there. My colleague, I mean, she came out and she was in tears afterwards because she didn't expect, she had been working quite a couple of years with these people to react like this.
In the end, the Molex company paid some extra compensation to the laid-off workers, but did not back down from closing the plant. The rage against Marcus Cariou only increased, to the point that he travels with bodyguards as he conducts final negotiations. Cariou complained that he was treated like a monkey in a zoo, but union leader Paris openly threatens him with much worse.
Il n'est pas encore reparti, Cariou, s'il faut arriver à le séquestrer, mais là je parle de séquestration et le traiter comme un singe, on va y arriver. C'est fort possible que ça arrive aussi, d'ici la fin, mais bon, il verra la différence du traitement qu'il a eu et du traitement qu'il va avoir.
Finance Minister Christine Lagarde has to walk a fine line about union militancy in France. She denounces violence and she knows that foreign companies don't like the turbulent atmosphere here. On the other hand, she points out that the people who have paid the greatest price for the global financial collapse are workers.
Bon, les actionnaires vont s'en sortir. Les cours de bourse remontent. En revanche, ceux qui souffrent, ce sont évidemment les effectifs des entreprises, puisqu'il y a des menaces de restructuration, puisqu'il y a des licenciements, puisqu'il y a des gens qui perdent leur job.
Many in France believe that workers' fundamental rights have been violated in the wake of the financial crisis, and that workers here need to fight back.
Les événements nous invitent à prendre position et à soutenir les causes justes.
Father Philippe Bachet says that French workers give an example to the world by defining employment as an essential human right.
Ce sont des gens qui n'acceptent pas facilement ce qu'on leur propose, ce qu'on leur fait faire. Et donc ils se raidissent et ils défendent à la fois leurs droits, c'est normal, ils essayent de défendre aussi leur travail. Et le travail, c'est aussi très important pour l'homme. L'homme a besoin de travailler.
Iceland was a microcosm of everything that went wrong during the global financial crisis. The sudden